All right, investigators are still scrambling for answers this hour after an unmanned SpaceX rocket exploded into pieces. Could this latest setback have people wondering, is space even worth it? Let's just say legendary astronaut, last man to walk on the moon, Gene Cernan, is very worried because he thinks it is worth it. Gene, I don't know if you can hear us. What do you make of this and what happened?
Well, I hate to be one of those old fogies, Neil, but I said several years ago, a few years ago anyway, we may, with all these predictions of what we're going to do, we may not yet know what we don't know, and that's coming to fruition. I'm as much for the success that we can get off on our own, with whether it's private or NASA or something. We need to get America back in space. So this was a sad occurrence, certainly, and I'm very disappointed as well. But we got to take a look back at some of our history, because we had failures in Vanguard, we had failures in Redstone, Titan, certainly the Atlas I, and I think we need to go back not just to look at the failure of the Falcon. We need to go back and look at the trends and the, you know, the people inputs to failure and the technology of the failure, and put a resume together. Yeah, Neil, I gotta consider the success of the Saturn V. Every manned flight was a success, and that was not an accident.
Yeah, but we did have Apollo 1, and we did have other disasters. But as you've reminded me then and since, disasters will happen, horrible things will happen, but we shouldn't lose faith. Do you think, though, we should switch in and out of contractors, though? If we're going to deal with a SpaceX, maybe there should be another entity that we can go to. I don't know how it was in the times of Vanguard, whether you fired certain contractors or guys who weren't getting it on the job or at the moment. What do you do?
No, I think, Neil, I think we got a lot of good people on the job. We just got to take an introspective look at us and know that we're humans. We are subject to making mistakes. We've made a lot of them, certainly, and we've paid for them in the past. But we just need to get this space program of ours back on a foot. We get too many people out there making predictions.
Right.
We're already predicting. I just read, we're predicting that if there had been a man on board, there would have been an escape system on board, and the crew would have gotten out safely. We don't even know what the failure is. Let's not make predictions that we're going to put men on a rocket, on a Falcon, or on something in 2 years until we build up a track record and prove that we're capable of doing it. We're going to do it, but let's be realistic about what we really think we can do in a safe. And there's a difference between putting clean laundry on a ship to the station and putting a human being on board.
No, you're right about that. But you know what's going to happen? The next ride, for the foreseeable future, as it has been, will be with the Russians. It could very well be the Chinese, who I understand are set to aggressively launch their own space initiatives, including sending men to the moon again, as you were, in short order. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't feel very good. We've lost the last 6-7 years. We went from a superpower, from the leading nation in space technology, to the point where Neil, I walked on the moon. I lived on the moon. I drove a car on the moon 42 years ago, and we can't get a human being in space today.
Yeah,
on American hardware. Come on. And if we do put a man on too early when we're not ready, and we have a failure, and we lose somebody, it's going to set us back far more than waiting an extra year or two and doing it right.
Very good point. Captain, thank you very, very much. Love the documentary. Love all that you meant. Love the fact that you were speeding on the moon and never got a speeding ticket. Very good seeing you, my friend. Last man to walk on the moon. He is the genuine, real article. When we talk about heroes, of course, he doesn't like that. But again, he's on remote. He can't argue with me. Thank you, Captain. Good seeing you.
Neil, God bless you. Thank you.